Hey, good afternoon, everyone. We're glad to have you here tuned in with us this afternoon. Hey, I got two very special people in with us today. One of them, my co-host, Mr. Chad Bryant, and man, we got a tournament catfisherman in the house with us tonight, Mr. Doug McAnally. Doug, man, glad to have you tuned in with us.
Glad to be here.
Doug, tell them a little bit about yourself, where you're from, our man, and just what's going on with you.
Yeah, well, I live in Trinity, Alabama right now, but I was raised in South Alabama on the Alabama River. And so kind of your neck of the woods.
Where was you raised at?
Atmore.
No, you wouldn't.
Yep.
Well,
Sure
that's a
was.
little bit, it's about an hour south of me. It sure
Yep.
is.
Yep.
Wow.
When I was growing up, we played around Greenville because you're close to Greenville, aren't you?
I yes, I am.
Yep. We played them in football pretty much every year. So it was fun down there that time. But we're up here now in Trinity where we be close to the water.
Yeah. Well, you're in a good place up in that area right there. Sure is. Man, it's so good to have you in. Guys, we're going to ask you, as y'all coming into the program, guys, we need y'all's help. I know we disappear sometimes for a couple of weeks, but Mr. Chad's got a full-time job, and I got one. We stay pretty busy. And, guys, sometimes we just have things where we can't get in here like we want to. So, guys, if we're getting back started tonight, I want, if you would, to share this right here program, get it out. We're going to talk a little bit about tournament catfishing. And Doug's the guy that's been involved in catfishing now, about tournament catfishing about 3 years. I remember, Doug, the first time I sort of seen you and Tiffany come on the scene, and you went from there to being last year, you and Sakoti and Matt being the overall points champion in the Cabela's King Cat. So you made some big leaps and bounds, man. You've been making a little racket where you've been. So I'm interested to hear from Matt. We're going to cover that this afternoon. Hey, guys, we got Size Matter. Man, let me get on here. Size Matters in the house with us this afternoon. Man, Chad, good to have you here with us, man. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much. We got several more guys in here. Hey, Lucas Gibson, what's up, man? Lucas, see if you can't get Adam and Dustin and Chad Vice in here with us. We may have to get all three of y'all on the program one night with us if y'all want to come on here. And if y'all could all agree, we would like to have y'all probably on the show with us one night. Hey, we got Bradley Leo's in the house with us. Doug, you know this guy?
A little bit. Yeah.
Oh, guys, so good to see y'all. Hey, I want to throw something out here to y'all. And I try to remember it again. If I don't go back over this again, try to help me get this word out. We want to offer something on this program. If you are a tournament director and you want an opportunity to come on this program, we want to have something after we do interviews where we have sort of like a 5 or 10 minute segment just for our tournament directors, no matter where you at. And it gives you time to come on here, tell about your tournaments, tell where you're located at, tell about when your tournaments are taking place. We just want to be able to help you as a tournament director get the word out. So if you are a tournament director or if you know of one who would like to have an opportunity to come on this program, have like a 10-minute segment, either at the front of it or at the end of it, to tell about your tournaments, guys, y'all contact them and have them contact my buddy right there, Chad Bryant. Message him on Facebook Messenger. And just leave the details that you're a tournament director and would love to have this opportunity to come in. So we're going to try to work something in as we're doing interviews, maybe somewhere along the way that we do a break and we let one of the tournament directors come in and tell about the tournaments. So just remember that. We want to help y'all as much as we can with that. Hey, we got Doug, we got your partner in the house with us.
All right.
Yes, sir. I ain't seen Matt show up in here yet, but hey, I'm sure he'll be here. Let's get to talking about a little bit of catfishing. I'm going to go back to this and start this conversation off with this right here. probably it's been 3 years ago or somewhere in that neighborhood. Doug, I remember seeing you and Tiffany come on the scene. Y'all was in that big, nice fiberglass
Ranger boat.
Oh man, super duper whooper whopper boat. And remember the first time I seen y'all just work your way up. Now you've come, man, where you and your partners are tournament fishermen. And like I said last year, y'all was the overall points champion in the Cabela's King Cat. Doug, just share a little bit of how you got started and how you worked your way to where you're at.
Well, Tiffany and I decided, I mean, I fished all the time while I was growing up and stuff, but we weren't fishing for big catfish. We were fishing for channel cats and stuff like that on the Alabama River, and occasionally we catch a big one. But we went out on a guide trip in August about 3 years ago with J.R. Hall, and we caught like 17 fish, and we had like 10 or 12 over 40. And so we were kind of hooked at that point. This is pretty easy. And so we just sitting there. I mean, we just catching them one after the other that day. And so I made a list of everything JR had on his boat, the big cat fever rods, what weights he was using. I mean, pretty much everything. And we drug all day that day, and the planer boards he was using. And so the next week I told Tiffany, I said, we can do this. And we ordered everything. I mean, to come in on the Ranger, trying to figure out how to put rod racks on the back of the Ranger through the fiberglass and all that good stuff. And it was quite an ordeal. Matt helped us out a lot to get everything going with it. And we kind of just took off from there and started slowly but surely. It didn't take us too long to figure out that the Ranger boat wasn't the boat that we needed. It was a nice boat, but it wasn't a good catfish boat. And we were basically wrecking the boat with a carpet in it and all that stuff. I mean, you can't get that slime out of that carpet. It's hard. So after about a year and a half, we basically decided that we were going to upgrade and get a Dynasty. And so that's where we're at right now with the Dynasty. And so JR is a big reason we're doing it.
Well, call and get on him then.
That's right. That's right. He's cost me a lot of money. And,
hey, I want to share this. I remember the first time I ran into you guys, we were fishing a tournament up in out of Stevenson, out of the 117 boat ramp. And me and John were downriver and we fished for a while, and we were headed back to the weigh-in. And John seen something in the lake, and he said, is that a dip net? And I said, man, I think it is a dip net. And we pulled over there and we pulled that net out. We threw it in our boat and we went on up, went into the weigh-in. And you were fishing that tournament with David Riles.
Yep.
And John said something about finding a net. And David said, hey, they lost theirs. It blew off. They had it sitting on top of the boat. It blew off. And we got y'all back your dip net. That was the first time I remember seeing you guys.
We almost lost Tiffany on that same little adventure with the net. Tiffany was sitting there, and there was two boats coming on either side of us, and the waves collided. It was like the perfect storm. And when it did, the ice chest flew, the net flew, and Tiffany was about 6 foot in the air.
Oh, good gracious!
She come plopping back down, and so we never did find net. We got the cooler, and then you brought the net up there, so.
Hey, Stacy, since he brought that up, you've got to tell everybody the story about Miss Dawn and the cutting board. You got to tell that, man. You got to tell that.
I'm gonna share this. So Adam Isaac put on the 89. He got had an 89 Javelin because it reminds me about this cutting board, because I had a Stratus, and man, I've always been catfishing, and this has been me and my wife probably hadn't been married 5 years. And my granddaddy, man, he loved to run trot lines. That's what we grew up doing. And he had told me where the trot lines was at. And he told me, said, when y'all get over to my place, my neighbor can carry y'all down there and show y'all where they at. So he was an older guy. You know, my granddaddy's age, I'm going to say at the time around 70 years old. And I had a Stratus with a 200 on it. And we went to going down that river, and that old man says, man, I bet this thing will run. I said, man, you ain't seen nothing. I said, just hang on. We start to come back. I'm going to show you something. We got down there and we had us some shad, and I had me a piece of plywood, probably about 14 by 14 inches that we cut bait up on. When we checked the trot line and we went across there baiting it up, and I just threw that old bait board right up on the front deck of that boat. And when we got ready to go back down the river, I thought to myself, I'm going to impress this old man. And I laid to that thing and I trimmed it up, baby, and I was letting her eat. And the boat had went across the river, and when I hit them waves, that thing bounced, and that cutting board bounced on that front deck and then bounced up, and that wind caught it and come back, hit my wife right between the eyes. Knocked her clean out. That old man looked at me, and my wife had done just slithered right on down the floor, and he says, I think you knocked her out. Hey, let me tell you something, Doug.
Yeah.
That had to been 25 years ago. And it wasn't long ago, my wife was with me, and I took off, and she went to hollering, stop the boat, stop the boat. She quietly got up, went to the front of the boat, and there was a board laying up there. She got it, just brought it back to me. She said, it's happened one time, but it ain't going to happen again.
It ain't going to happen again. Well, let me tell you what Tiffany does when it gets rough now, and there's a lot of waves or whatever. We're flying down through there. She'll get in the floor of the boat and lay down. She says, I'm not going off this boat.
Hey, we was at Memphis 2 years ago, and we had put in that morning, we was fishing the MRM, and me and Joey, we went about 40 or 50 miles north of Memphis. Well, it was pretty good that morning. It was dark, but we just put in the time and went up there. When we got ready to come back, the wind was blowing. It was pretty rough. And I was hammering on it, you know. And I looked over there, and my wife has got a hold to that console, and her knuckles are white. And she just had her head down. I looked over at it, and I'm telling you, they had this thing in her face. I said, honey, what you doing? And she just looked at me. She said, I'm praying. When we got back from that trip, Doug, she says, I would never go off with y'all fishing again.
Yep.
She was done with you.
She was done. I don't think she's been back fishing with me yet. But Doug, I know that all the people that's in here, especially these guys who are just getting started, you can really help them out because you started from where you was at to being the points champion. What was the learning curve on this? I mean, just how did you get to be the points champion, just fishing and not giving up, and how did you figure this out?
Picking up two good partners. I mean, Sakoti and Matt. Sakoti and Matt taught Tiffany and I a lot about fishing. I mean, JR went out and caught fish, but I really learned a lot. I mean, not because he wasn't trying to teach me, it was just new. And but Matt and Sakoti have become real good friends with us, and we do a lot of stuff together other than just fishing. And they kind of like kids to me. I mean, I'm 62 years old, and I think Sakoti's 30 and Matt's 37. So they like kids to me, but we all hang out a lot, go places, but together, each one of us, I think, brings a little bit something to the boat that, you know, maybe the other one doesn't have, or the other one's learning, but the three of us together make a pretty good team. And then when Tiffany's on the boat to us, she keeps us pumped up. So, you know,
and she is excited. There ain't no doubt.
She is exciting. If you want somebody to cheer you on at the weigh-in, let Tiffany be there, and she will cheer it on. She don't matter who it is. She's gonna cheer it on. But the learning curve for me and Tiffany was, you know, the first year we kind of fished by ourselves. Every once in a while somebody would get on the boat with us, but I watched YouTube video after YouTube video. I think I've watched every video you ever put out, Stacy. and anybody else has put one out, I watch it. She told me, she said, we don't ever watch TV anymore. We always watch YouTube. I said, we got to learn this thing. And but we just kept plugging away, and we didn't do real good the first year. I mean, we really didn't. We was at every tournament. We had a good time, and I'll tell that to anybody that goes to tournament fishing. If we want to win, but at the end of the day, that's not what matters. It's the competition that matters. It's the meeting, the good people there, because we've had a lot of great friends that we've made since we got into catfishing that we didn't have before we got into it. So we look at it, it doesn't matter. We skunked out in the Cabela's tournament this last week. And, one thing that Bob always tells us, he said, I like to see y'all come in because no matter what y'all catch, y'all got a smile on your face. And there's a lot of people that don't have the opportunity to go. And that's kind of how we look at it, is that we're blessed that we can go tournament catfishing. And I think everybody ought to have that attitude that, yeah, you want to win, but at the end of the day, the fellowship and just having a good time is what matters. And then just pick up a little here and there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if winning is all you're concerned with, you're going to be mad about 75% of the time at least.
Yes, at least. Maybe 80
at
or 90.
Yes. It is something that's very tough. And I have fished with some guys, that if they don't do very good, it just ruins their whole. I mean, at 1 o'clock, I'm ready to go home. I'm like, man, if you can't handle losing, tournament catfishing is not for you, because I'm telling you, when you go out there and one of them tournaments, you take Cabela's King Cat, you take any of these big tournaments like
MRM, Sea Arc.
Yeah, you fishing against some of the best guys that's out here. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's tough to win it. It's tough to be in the top 10, much less win it.
Yeah,
there ain't no doubt.
It definitely is, because you can go out there and catch a lot of fish, but if you don't catch the right fish, it ain't gonna matter. Somebody's gonna catch a big fish.
There ain't no doubt.
Every time we put in a tournament, somebody asked me, "Reckon there'll be some big fish caught today?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, somebody is going to catch a big fish. Somebody may catch 2 big ones.
Yep.
Somebody's gonna catch some big fish today." And you just got to look at it like y'all do. Hey, we're going out here. We're going to do what we go do, and we're going to have fun.
That's
and
right.
Hopefully by the end of the day, we're going to have 2 big fish.
That's right. When we go out every day, every tournament, we have one goal, and that's try to get 100 pounds, and then we'll just let that fall where it may.
Yes, sir.
And it's tough to get 100 pounds.
Hey,
you probably don't place if you get 100 pounds.
Hey, I'm with you on that, Doug. That's the thing that me and Joey looks at, man. If we can get 100 pounds, we're thinking, I don't know where we're going to be at, but we're going to have a chance. We're going to have a chance if we can get 100 pounds.
Yep. And I think last year, and I might be mistaken, but I think at the Cabela's tournaments and Lisa's tournaments, which is pretty much what we fish, that if you had 100 pounds, I believe you would have been in the top 5 every tournament. I mean,
yeah.
I might be wrong, but I'd say 90% of the time you get 100 pounds, you're going to be probably placing.
I agree with you. And 100 pounds is a good bag of fish. Now, somebody's going to have 130. Somebody may have 150. But that is really, really, that's one of them exceptional things. But if you get 100 pounds, hey, we got a chance to walk away here with some money today.
There you go.
That's what I look at.
Yep.
Hey, Bobby said, ask Doug about Moon Lake Steaks.
Moon Lake Steaks. Where we stayed last year? Is that what he's talking about? I don't know. The steaks. Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's where I let Robert Thomas and Aaron Churchwell talk me into going to this restaurant with them at I think it was the Megabucks that we were at, and we shared a Airbnb there, Matt and me and those two, and we went out there and we went to this little restaurant, and they had tomahawk steaks, and so we're gonna get us a tomahawk steak tonight. We're gonna have us one of them things. So it comes up, and time to pay the bill. And we noticed that the lady that I guess she owned the place kept bringing us desserts. And so we kept eating those desserts, but then we got ready to pay it. Robert had stepped out, and Aaron says, "I get it tonight." And it was like $130 was the bill. And then Aaron says, "Oh, this ain't bad." He says, "No, that's for each person."
Holy smoke!
That's for each person. So we're sitting there. Aaron starts handing me my bill and Matt's bill and Robert's bill.
He wasn't going to get everybody's in.
No, he all of a sudden he's done getting everybody's bill. He said, "I'll take care of mine."
Oh, yes, sir. What you got there, Chad? Hey, let me tell this while we on here again. Let me give this while we got a chance. Guys, I had opened the show up that if you are a catfish, if you are a tournament director, and would no matter what size tournaments that you have, if you are a tournament director, and if you want to have the opportunity to come on this program, like for a 10-minute segment to tell about your tournaments, to give an idea about where y'all at, what location, when your tournaments take place, on what body of river, guys, get in touch with Chad Bryant. And we want to get y'all lined up, and we can get y'all on this program, maybe a segment in the middle of the program where we just pull y'all in and you get to tell a little bit about your tournament trail. We just want to be able to offer this and maybe get the word out to even more people that is out there. Just want to be able to help y'all out the best that we can.
Hey, Stacy, Jeff Sheffield asked her, y'all going to be at the down at Gadsden for the fishing expo this weekend?
Hey, yes, we will be there. That will be Saturday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I was hoping that I would have seen something from the East Tennessee Fishing Expo. That's who is putting this on. It's going to be in Gadsden, Alabama. I will be there. We will have a SmackDown CatFishing. We'll have a booth set up there. I will do a seminar on Friday. If everything goes according to plan, they will have seminars Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I will do one on Friday. I think if Aaron can get there for Saturday, I think what we're going to do on Saturday is me and Aaron's going to do a seminar together. I'm going to bring him in with me, and we may just sit down and ask questions, open it up for question, answers, conversation, and try to hit the topics that people want. And Aaron will also speak at a seminar on Sunday there in Gaston. So, guys, if you're in this area, in the Gaston area, we would love to see y'all there. Make sure you come by our booth. Introduce yourself to me. I would love to meet y'all and just hang out with you.
Hey, Stacy, what's the hours on Friday?
It starts at 10. That I do know.
I'm gonna come up and hang out with y'all on Friday sometime.
Sometime
during the day, Friday.
I know that I asked them what time I need to be there. And they said we open at 10. So I'm like, the SmackDown crew will be there. Greg Mays will be there. They'll have the booth set up. And so I was gonna try to get there. Lord, I can't tell them. I'm going to wait till they set the booth up, and I'm going to just show up.
Wait till all the hard work's done.
All that done. Don't tell them I said that, all right? Don't tell them I planned it that way. But, guys, I would love if you're in that area, please to come by and hang out with us, and we'd love to see y'all. Hey,
10 to 7. 10 to 7 is what Peter said. Sunday is 10 to 5.
Here we go. We got it in here right now. 10 to 7 on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 5. So make plans, come by and hang out with us. I would love to see y'all, if you're in that area, to come and especially be with us on that Saturday. And I ain't for sure if Aaron was going to make it there that Saturday or not, but if he is, we would love to do like a seminar where we just answering questions. You can ask questions, just open the floor up and try to address, and maybe we can help you out. Whatever it is that you want to know, what techniques, sonars, everything else. And we'll probably have some more catfishermen in there that's around, that's tournament fishermen that can be able to help any way possible with the guys that's there that's wanting to know more details about catfishing.
Hey, my partner John said he'd be there on Sunday. Bobby said he'd be there all weekend. So I'll I'll get up there as much as I can. I don't think I can do Saturday, but I might can do Friday and Sunday.
Hey, and why I'm on this, and yes, we will be in Pigeon Forge the August the 11th and 12th. So we're looking forward to that. I think they call that now what used to be the Catapalooza is now called the Smoky Mountain Fishing Expo. And that will be in Pigeon Forge. So if you want to make a getaway, put your name on the calendar and you can have a whole weekend, carry your wife out to the mountains and also come by and hang out at a fishing expo.
Hey, anybody that's going to be in Gadsden this weekend, make sure you come by and introduce yourself and shake my hand. I'd like to meet you.
All right, so I want to get back to one other thing, Doug. I want to get back to last year because I think, to me, Doug, this is impressive. And it's always one of the things that I look at when you're looking at tournament anglers is not necessarily how many did you win. Where did you end up at on these trails at the end of the year? Where did you end up at? Because being a points leader or finishing anywhere in the top 2, 3, 4, or 5 as points leaders in a tournament trail, to me, that's a big goal because you not just show that you can win a tournament, 1 out of 100 or something, but you had to be pretty consistent to do these things. And last year, y'all was the Cabela's Points champion. Just let's look at this right here and just tell a little bit about this. That's just hard work and dedication and not giving up, ain't it?
Yeah, consistency is what we did because we didn't win a tournament. I think our highest finish all year in Cabela's was 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kept plugging away. And we got down to the last 2 tournaments, which we weren't going to go to. And we needed to catch 1 fish the next to the last tournament. And it was in Kansas. And like 12 and a half hours. So Cody couldn't make it on that particular one. So Matt and I, we took off on Thursday night, basically drove all night Thursday night to get there Friday to be able to pre-fish Friday before the Saturday tournament. And so Cody kept calling us Saturday all day long. Y'all got a fish yet? Y'all got a fish yet? Y'all got a fish yet? No, we don't have a fish. And we skunked that boat. We couldn't put a fish in that boat for nothing in this world. And so Cody says, y'all had 1 job. And it included 1 fish. He said, all you had to do was catch 1 fish. He said, now I got to go to Kansas next week so we can catch a fish. And we did. We come back home, and then we took off back to Kansas for the last tournament so that we could catch the fish and secure the top spot. We were battling Terry Haraway and battling Donnie and Lonnie Fountain. And we knew they was going to be there. So Cody said, y'all have 1 job. Matt, you and Doug have 1 job, and y'all couldn't make it happen. So now I
will tell you, you want to talk about consistency, man. Lonnie and Donnie, if they're in a tournament, they're going to bring some good fish to the scale.
Yep.
Hey, Doug, so you're telling me y'all left Kansas, come back and got Cody and headed back the next weekend to put that 1 fish in the boat.
Yeah, because Matt didn't go that weekend. Me and Cody went. And we got there and we caught our limitator. We could put 3 fish in the boat, but that was a lot of driving because the last Kansas tournament was over 14 hours. And we drove up on a Thursday night, fished Friday and Saturday, and drove home all night Saturday night. And so a little tiring.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't fish, but just a handful of tournaments a year. Man, it's so hard on me. There when you go to fish in these tournaments, man, you putting some miles. You putting some miles on yourself. I'm telling you that.
Oh, that's absolutely correct. It's because it takes you about 2 or 3 days to recover once you get back.
It does.
Like, when you just sitting out there fishing, man, relaxing, enjoying yourself, what you getting tired about?
That ride back, what you're getting tired about.
No, if you go at tournaments and you go hard, they'll wear you out.
And we kind of bring a little bit of something different. I like to drag, and so does Sakoti. If it's possible to drag, we're gonna be dragging. Matt's more of an anchor guy. He likes to anchor. He loves structure, and so we just we make a good team because of that. And yep, Sakoti does own an anchor. He just doesn't like to use it too much if he don't have to. Yeah.
Like Wayne Reed, I aggravate him about not owning an anchor.
Yeah, Matt and Sakoti, they do go back and forth. Matt will be sitting there. We need to find some structure and anchors. Sakoti says we need to get them planer boards out. And so I'm sitting there to being the mediator. And now they won't let me throw any rods, and I don't know why this is. But when all three of us is on the boat, they tell me to cut the bait and hand it to them, and they'll throw the rods. They'll take care of that. And so one day we was at the Cumberland fishing one of the tournaments, and I got up on the back of the boat. I said, well, I guess that since I'm the captain of the boat, Sakoti, I want you to put that right there. He threw it out there. I said, no, reel it back in, throw it again. We have a lot of fun on the boat. He told Matt one day we had a fish just one in flatheads, just doing this right here. Just wouldn't take it down, just playing with it. Matt jumped up like 4 or 5 times. Cody says, you need to sit down right now, and I'll tell you when to get up and go get that rod.
Hey, when it's 5 eyes deep.
Yeah, Matt told him, he says, if you jump for another rod, I'm kicking you right on out the back of the boat.
Hey, well, I could identify with that because I had a guy on the boat, and that pole would do that, and he would jump up out of his seat. I told him, I says, don't sit down until I holler at you. Go get that rod. I said, put this bow down. Go on with it.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, there ain't nothing like being on a boat with a group of guys just having fun. I'm telling you, there's nothing like it.
No, it is. It's to me, that's what makes the tournaments fun. Was when we all three on the boat, we all the time cutting up with each other, and we're such good friends. It really don't matter what one says to the other. We just blow it off and keep going.
Hey, well, that's what good friends do,
That's exactly right.
Oh. Hey, Wayne Reed, I wouldn't expect nothing else from you. Rain said no need for an anchor.
Now, I'm going to remember that next time I see Wayne in a certain stretch of the river here in a couple months. I'm just going to go up there and cut his anchor rope and say, well, you don't need that. No way.
Now, I don't think Wayne Reed was dragging this past weekend because he was fishing at Cabela's tournament. I don't believe he had to drag the planer boards out. If he does, I want to know where he was at. That river was rolling.
Oh, man. Let me see. Aaron Church, Robert says Aaron Churchwell don't let them reel none of them in. Hey, and here's Aaron says he can't ain't his fault they ain't paying attention.
Well, let me tell you something. So Cody now he is quick to the board. I mean, he'd get up there. I mean, he's about as fast as I've ever seen getting back there. He had one time that we had the full enclosure on the back, and he forgot we had it snapped down.
He went all the way
right
through
into the screen, right into the back cover, fell back, never slacked up, got on his hands and knees and army crawled under the thing to get to the rod. So I guess his basic training helped him out there to get to that rod. And so
hey, I'm going to tell you another guy. If you ever have him on the boat with you, you're going to be shocked by it. And that's Doc Lane. I'm telling you, if Doc's in the boat with you, that rod won't be gone 6 inches over. Son, he's on it. He's on it. It's going to be hard. If you ain't paying attention, you ain't going to never reel a fish in.
So Cody beat us to like 4 one day. I mean, it was like 4 takedowns. And so Cody, he would get like, I think the 3rd one he got, and he said, here, Doug, here's, take this and you reel him in. So he gives me the rod to reel him in. The rod goes down again, and Matt jumps. So Cody beats him to the rod. Matt says, you going to let me reel that one in? And so Cody looked at him. No. He said, well, you'd let Doug reel one in.
Oh, man. Let me see what else we got here.
Yeah, I think old Wayne Reed has fallen in love with bumping about as much as he has dragging.
Oh, me. What else we got on here, Chad?
O'Shea McDonald said with ice on the back deck, he'd been known to run so hard that he had to hit the brakes and grab the rod. I had to grab the multi-bar to keep him in the boat.
Oh. Let me see what else.
Doug, when y'all were learning, while Stacy's looking back through, when y'all were learning, you were just getting started. I know you said you watched a lot of YouTube videos and you had a lot of good friends, but how important is just time on the water, though?
That's the most important thing. You can watch all the YouTube videos you want to, but if you don't get out there and try some different stuff, I mean, like there's so much difference in fishing low pressure versus a high pressure. And a lot of people don't think about that, but high pressures tend to lock them down and low pressures tends to make them go back. And, but there's a way you can catch them in a high pressure too. You just got to figure out how to change your techniques and the way you're going to fish to catch them. And that's the biggest thing we've been trying to learn as a team is that we can catch fish in any condition. You just got to change up a little bit and do a little something different.
Yeah.
But time on the water teaches you that.
Doug, did you find out? This is one of the things that I found out a little bit when tournament fishing. Yes, you can catch fish. You just got to do a little bit something different. And what I found out is the days that you don't catch fish, somebody's catching them. And I just try to listen out. What did they do? Where did they go at today? What kind of technique? You're trying to figure out what did they do that I didn't do that I don't know about. And that really, to me, that helps improve your fishing skills.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And we try to watch too. I mean, because for lack of a better word, the heavy hitters in tournaments, who they are. And you just got to figure out what are they doing different than us if we're not catching fish today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there he is. There's some people that's really consistent and just listening and watching. Because if they wasn't there and you was out there fishing by yourself, you come in, you're like, hey, they just wasn't biting today. You get to a tournament and you can say, hey, they just wasn't biting today. I'm like, just hang around these scales right here just a minute, and you fixing to see where they was biting at.
Yeah. And sometimes that hurts because, like I said last week, you figure you got to have 100 pounds to get to place, and then sit there and 64 pounds wins it, and you're top 10 if you get 21 pounds. And it was just a bad day on the lake, and we could have got 21 pounds of fish, but we didn't think that was even going to be close to what we needed to get into a top 10 finish. And that's the difference when you're chasing points and chasing a tournament too. If you're chasing points, every fish matters for the points. And if you're chasing tournaments, then it really doesn't matter. Just catch the biggest fish you can catch.
Yes.
I'll tell you though, you always take your fish back to the scales because, man, you don't ever know.
You never know.
Yeah. Well, and there's been times at weigh-ins that I may not have but 40 pounds in my live well. I always pull up out there and I ask somebody how many places they paying, they'll say, well, 10 places. I say, what's 10th place right now? And if they tell me 70 or 80, I reach in my live well and throw them back. But I ain't taking no chance. They might have told me 10th place was at 20 pounds. I'm like, I ain't throwing these fish back until I know what the last paying place is.
Yeah. So it's a dilemma. We talk about it all the time. Do you go out and get 3 fish in your live well and then worry about going and catching some big ones? Or are you afraid you missed the bite early in the morning and don't get the big ones because you didn't go after them to start with?
Yeah. And I know some people that their first goal is just go get 3 fish.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, that first couple hours, to me, is critical. You know what I mean?
We feel the same way. We think 6:30 to 8:30 in a tournament, most big fish is going to get you. You're going to have them caught during the day, but most of the time, that's a good bite.
Oh, yes. I agree with you the same way. And if it's just that one-day tournament, and there's a lot of different scenarios you have to keep in mind. If you're like where y'all at and you're fishing Cabela's and you're thinking about points, I can see where it's important. Hey, that we get 3 fish in the boat no matter what. 30 pounds beats no pounds any day, you know?
Yeah.
Now, if you're in that one-day tournament that, hey, after this one day, this tournament does not matter anywhere else, I'm like, we really need 2 big fish. You know what I mean? And I'm like, if we either gonna get we after 2 big fish today.
Yep. I'll tell you something else about tournament fishing too. And so Cody and Matt and I talk about this all the time. Is last year we didn't do really well on our home waters. I mean, we've had some of our worst performances on the water we fish all the time, but then we got to thinking about it. We're off at a tournament 2 or 3 times a month. We're not fun fishing our home waters. And, and that's where you pick up where fish are at, is fishing your home waters. So we basically give up our home waters to go chase other waters sometimes. And, because there's just not enough days of the week to go fishing.
Hey, let's answer this right here. Wayne Reed put on here. How do you prepare for new water? We're headed to Chickamauga this weekend. It's a new water for me, but I'm bringing a secret weapon this weekend. So how do y'all look at new water? What do y'all do on that? When y'all getting ready for that?
If we're pre-fishing a day early, if it's draggable water, the current's not too strong, we decide whether we're going to drag or anchor pretty much before we get out there. And if it's an anchor deal, then we're going to go out there that Friday and we're going to try to find all the structure we can find. And that's the way we're going to, attack it. If it's a draggable water, we're going to drag some of the day in shallow water, some of the day in medium depth water, and some of the day in deeper water, and try to get a pattern on where the fish is at. And then that's what we're going to do on Saturday, whatever that pattern happens to show us. Yeah.
Hey, Doug, and this was a question also. If y'all anchoring, what is the longest that y'all have spent on a similar spot? Is there a time limit that y'all put on something, or where do y'all do that?
If we've marked fish on the structure, we may give it an hour there just to see if we can get them to bite. But if we're just marking structure, we typically going to be 25, 30 minutes, and we're going to be on to the next structure pile.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. To me, tournament fishing is, there's some of them spots that you just got that gut feeling, hey, we just got to sit on this spot an hour this morning, and there is time. I'm like, we're just going to sit here an hour. There's some of them time we on that structure. And I like to anchor fish. Matter of fact, a lot of times I'm tournament fishing. I'm going to be anchor fishing. I'm like, we got to catch 3 fish. And I think I'm pretty confident most of the time that we can catch 3 pretty good fish this way. But pull up there, anchor. Once I get the rod set out, once we get them set out, I'm looking right at the clock. I'm like, it's 7:45. At 8:15, we rolling up. If we catch another one, I'm going to add 15 minutes to it, We catch a fish, it's at 8:15, we'll sit here to 8:30,
Yeah.
And and just go from there. And that I'm like, we just got to try to hit a bunch of spots, and because most of the time, I don't know about everybody else. Most of the time, if that fish is there within the first 20 minutes, you're gonna just about catch him. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
I was going to. Somebody asked me the other day. Asked here. This is one of the questions in here. What about the Cat Masters tournament? And I'm going to take it to this had to. I reckon they was talking about. What did you think about the Cat Masters tournament? I don't know if they talking about the 2-day tournament or the one that they done for the MLF type platform. Hey, I fished up there in it. I know Aaron Churchwell fished in that. Guys, what would I have? 30 pounds, 20 pounds? I caught 3 fish. I'm literally. I caught 3 fish. Didn't even weigh much over 10 pounds a piece. No, they did. One weighed a little bit over 10, and the other 2 was under. And I really thought that morning when me and Chad got down there, I looked at him. We anchored down. There was fish, wasn't there, Chad? I said,
swimming under the boat.
I'm fixing to bust me a big one right here. I'm like, I'm fixing to put a big one in the boat right here pretty quick. Well, I give it one of them things. I'm like, I'm sitting here an hour. Might have sat there an hour and a half. I fished one spot for 2 hours, not just one particular spot, one area, just anchoring. I'm like, I ain't moving from this area. I'm gonna catch me 2 big fish here. Well, it didn't happen. And that's one of them things you have to look at it totally different than any other thing. Hey, it ain't about putting 2 big fish in a boat. Nope. It's about putting as many as you possibly can. And I'm going to tell you, them 10 and 15 pounders and 20 pounders add up way quicker than one that weighs 50 pounds, you know.
It's a whole different strategy.
A whole different strategy. It was a whole different strategy. And I know a couple of people that fished down on Wilson. We chose Wilson late that day. Now, Doc done really good on Wilson, but I don't know about the rest of us. Well, listen, we just didn't do much on Wilson that day. That was tough. I'm like, well, we chose the wrong lake, I reckon. I don't know. I just didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, Chad, what else you got, man?
What's the earliest you'll start for bumping for blues? And I think, I don't have the opportunity to do that a whole lot here. There is some water that we can bump sometimes, but, I've heard, when that water temperature gets above, what is it, Stacy, like 55, 60 degrees?
Yeah. I would say that you can I would say right now, it wouldn't bother me a bit if I was there to go to bumping.
Yeah.
But Doug, before we get off of here this afternoon, man, I want to give you a chance here also. I know y'all got some products that y'all selling. Tell them a little bit about, throw you a plug in there, man.
All right. But Matt and I, we decided we were going to develop a rod and start selling it. And we're selling some tackle. We're working real slow with the rod business. We're not trying to jump out there too quick. We want to make sure it's just right and it's going to be a good rod for anybody for what they want to use it for. But we did a limited edition blackout rod, which I think looks pretty good. It's black eyes, black rod. I mean, it's solid black all the way through and through. And we're kind of proud of what we got. We're still working on it. And like I said, we've sold a few here and there, but we're really not pushing it right now too much. We just want to make sure it's just right. Last thing we want to do is get something out there and then somebody find an issue with it or something. And so we're trying to make sure it's all good and right. And I do want to thank you, Stacy, of SmackDown for supporting us. We appreciate it and can't thank you enough for that. And
Yes,
we appreciate it a whole bunch. And we tried to get them SmackDown rod holders in there last week, but we kind of just quite didn't get them there.
Yep.
But we had them in there, and I just had to take them off.
Oh, is there anything else?
I want to shout out to Dry Creek Marine. He's always been there for us and helps us out and supports us, and multi T-bars and River Rats Real Repair. and spread them planer boards. And so we,
Yes, sir.
if they help us a lot, and we appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Chad, what else you got, man? We're gonna get
Man,
ready. Hey,
that's about it.
We got Dale Dunaway in with us.
Dale is in the house.
Yes, sir.
He's come in kind of quiet though. He ain't stirring up no ruckus. That's why we didn't know he was here.
Well, at one time we had to that's why I got you as host now.
To separate me and Dale.
Host, you and Dale got in the chat and caused all these problems.
Well, you know, we had to keep it interesting.
Oh man, guys, we've been enjoying being on here this afternoon, and we'll be back on here next Tuesday night. Look forward to having y'all. Have you done got our guest lined up for next week, or you talked to him yet?
I ain't talked to him yet, but I got it. I got a list.
Who it is then until we know for sure he's going to be on here.
Yep.
But guys, before we jump back off, we'll remind you again, if you are a tournament director or if you're tuned in with us and you know a tournament director who would like to have an opportunity to come on here, tell a little bit about their tournaments, where they're located, and what they're doing, we want to try to throw in a 10-minute segment on this. So if you're a tournament director, no matter how big or how small your tournaments are, guys, we would love to give you the opportunity to come on here and share about what's going on. We're fixing to jump off here tonight. Doug, again, it was great to have you on here.
Thank you.
Hey, and I want to say this before I let you go. You said something about SmackDown. I am proud to have you, Sir Cody, and Matt a part of my team.
We're proud to be a part of that team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will tell you one last thing, though, that if anybody's new to catfishing, and I was new one day, and you want to come up and ask me or Sir Cody and Matt a question, we'll be more than happy to try to answer that question if you're new and getting started out, because we want the sport to grow, and we want it to get bigger, and that's the only way it's going to happen. I mean, we don't have to give away spots, but you can sure tell people about techniques.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, I was going to come up and ask you where y'all was going to fish for a tournament.
And that's the only thing. So Cody is like the guard. You do not want to give away a spot.
Don't do that. Hey, Doug, I agree with you on that. And I think Chad said one time, I said, I hate to even be around people the night before the tournament because they go to asking you so many questions. I'm like, I don't mind telling y'all, some tips and techniques, but I ain't going to tell you where I'm fishing at.
I asked Donnie and Lonnie at the Cabela's tournament, I said, Donnie, Lonnie, you got any advice for me? He said, if you got a log house, don't have any beavers around. And that's what he told me.
Hey, yeah, and you ain't going to get nothing out of it. Them guys, as good as they come, you ain't going to get nothing out of them.
No, not a thing.
Yes, sir. And hey, as being a part of the tournament scene, I can see why. Hey, if you're gonna fish a tournament, you need to keep your spots and your secrets of what you've been going on sort of hush because all it takes is telling one person, and when you show up to your spot on tournament
There'll be 25 boats in there.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Oh, guys, we're fixing to jump over here. Good to see y'all this week. I hope to get to see y'all Friday and Saturday there in Gaston, Alabama at the expo. Look forward to seeing y'all, hanging out with y'all. Make sure y'all look us up there at the SmackDown booth. God bless y'all, and y'all have a good afternoon.
Thank y'all.